Osmosis. How you doing today, man?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, live osmosis.
Yeah, we are now live. So go ahead and introduce yourself and what you do. Burned out?
Hey, well, I'm known as Burned Out Kid. My name is Josh, and I make music like almost every day. I draw, and kind of like informs itself. Kind of with like, um, I use like an old 4 track to make the music, and most of the time, and I'm really into that kind of like lo-fi music and like just like kind of mistakes if they happen. Like I usually just I leave them in there. It's like most of my songs are like pretty much improvised, and um, yeah. So I'm just looking for like sound, and like it's like my music project is like had so many names that like I just kind of like feel like I'm discovering a new band every time, but it's just me. So
How long have you been making music, or when did you get started?
well, when I was a kid, my mom got me piano lessons, but then I wanted to play guitar and like play rock, and so I taught myself guitar and like, um, yeah, like, um, how long have I done it? Like quite a while. I'm kind of like an old man, but I'm, like when I went to school in Santa Barbara like for the first time, and like I had like a breakdown, and like I was like ended up in this mental hospital like playing this like old nylon string guitar that this guy gave me. That was quite a while ago, and like um, I would like see Kurt Cobain on TV and stuff, and like I thought that he was like related to me or something. Like it was kind of crazy, but like I don't think that anymore, of course. But just kind of I don't know. I felt like I was just like kind of playing in my room by myself, with this music, and like so like this kind of like teenager kind of idea, like like you're just making music in your room, and you're trying to make it good. Um, I don't know if that makes some sense, but
Well, how old are you? Do you care to say?
I'm I'm 46.
Okay. And like
Yeah,
whenever you first got started, like how old were you?
probably like mm, probably like 16. I think I would just that was like when I started learning guitar on my own, like learning chords and stuff. And then I really like B sides and like demo tapes and stuff and that kind of aesthetic. So I feel like that's what I usually make is like B sides or like demos, and I hope I can get like a band together to like be more of a band. But I have some friends that I play with sometimes, but um, yeah. So I forgot the question, but
Well, what inspired the name Burned Out Kid? Like, how'd you get to that?
well, like I just felt burned out, and I felt like I like the kid approach to making things. Like have fun. Like it can be funny, it can be really serious, it can be both. And I guess I just still feel kind of like a kid, but I'm burned out. Like I'm kind of just you know yeah.
All right, so we'll get cracking. All right. So
Okay.
I listen to your music quite a bit, and I love what you post out on Instagram, and like it's really abstract, and I like the stuff where you like posting the like the tape cover, and it's like peeled, but it'll have like different music or different stuff behind it. What's the inspiration, or where did that come from?
Just like I'm using a 4 track to record most of the time. I just think tapes look cool. I think they sound cool and they look cool. And like I'm old enough to well, maybe I should talk about it. Yeah, I'm old enough to like remember like actually having that technology and kind of like like the kind of cool quality that you don't really I didn't really like totally get it until like you hear like we can do like really clean stuff now if we want to, but like just like kind of recording stuff on tape or like just having it be like, you would hand someone a tape back in the old days. I didn't do that, but like, you can, just like hand out your tape or whatever. And like, I just like the idea that it's like a physical thing and kind of, it's like, it's an object and like it has like some cool, it looks cool. Like
Yeah, so like whenever like you got into recording on tape, do you remember like your first like tape recorder?
yeah, it was like, I think a really long time ago, I started on this like boombox that I had. And then my little brother showed me that you can record like different tracks on it just by playing it and recording it on another tape. But
Yeah.
I got like tracks like later, and that's kind of what I'm using now, and I like it. Yeah.
Also, so like what kind of music would you say like inspired you to get started in general?
Probably like on the radio, like I'd hear the Beatles or something, or classic rock, like whatever, like AC/DC and stuff, and like also like I like Beck. I like the way he's done things, like with his like his. It's just really fun listening to his music. It's kind of like funny.
Yeah, ever since from the beginning and the changes to now, really an incredible progression changer too. Like he has some really great ideas.
Yeah, yeah, he's really good, and he hasn't killed himself or anything, so
Yeah, yeah, he's kept the band going. So yeah, we'll get into some of the fun questions. Like, do you remember like the first album you bought?
let's see. I think it was yeah. Yeah, I grew up like in kind of this. I would go to church and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like they're and like I remember like I think it was probably like Starflyer 59. It's this old kind of like shoegaze project from this guy. He's still going. He started kind of like playing this kind of like shoegazy rock and roll and stuff, and like he's kept at it. And like I remember like I brought that CD to church, and like this guy's like, you gotta turn it up. And like he turned it up on the overheads, and I was like, well, this is how you listen to it. And then what's it? Oh yeah, I lost my train of thought, sir.
Do you remember like maybe like your first concert?
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Like it probably would have to be like at some weird cafe like in Modesto, which is like a neighboring town, and like
Okay.
there was like all these bands that would be out kind of like just playing at these cafes and stuff. And, like I was like, oh cool. I'd go there with my friends and like listen to some weird dude playing, and I can't think of any. I don't know who I heard first, but
Do you remember like the first show where you like bought a ticket for? Like that was like oh, I have to go on Ticketmaster or whatever and buy their shit to go and see.
okay, that's a good question. The first one when I was in Santa Barbara, like it was actually Elliott Smith, and it was kind of like it was like before he obviously killed himself, but like
Yeah.
I didn't. He was like becoming famous, He was like a cool like indie rocker dude, and like I was like, I want to go see this guy, and then he was at this bar like in Santa Barbara somewhere, and like I remember seeing him, and it's pretty nuts. I didn't, it's weird because like he's such like a influential musician for so many people, and just getting to see him live was like really crazy. Like I was like, I didn't even know how cool it was at the time.
Yeah, good you had it until it's gone some days. So would you consider yourself like a spiritual person?
Yeah, I believe in God. Like My
What drove you to like spirituality, or was it something that like happened where you're like, okay, like I now see that there's something beyond than like just living and dying?
yeah, like I think about death a lot and like about like my parents both passed away like one right after the other. Like so I helped take care of them and stuff. Um,
Sorry
I
for
had
the.
yeah, I had some really crazy experiences doing that and like just feel like my dad was like haunting me for a while, like he was gonna come back or something. Um, then I got
Dude, that's like a ghostly like feeling, or was it like a presence or energy?
it just felt like you could hear what I was thinking, and like he would make lights flicker and stuff. Um, but I mean,
Kidding.
you know, people at church probably would be like, "That's not what happened," but like I felt like it was. But um,
I agree. I mean, I've lost someone too, and I feel like in that aftermath, there were definitely signs of like signs of life, and that's just my only way of putting it. And that's I guess to me like a been like another driving force of like okay, like there's more to like what we're doing out here, or like there's more purpose. And
yeah,
and like to bring up like loss and stuff, like do you think like that kind of helped like you still get back to working on music?
um, well, like when my dad passed away, and then like I was like just starting to before the pandemic, I was like, I'm gonna make a band, and then my mom's like, you can have your friends over, and like when I was helping my dad when he got sick, and then he passed away, and then my mom kind of she got lung cancer in the middle of that, and then passed away like a couple years ago now, um, or maybe 1 year ago. I don't know, but like, what's the question? So,
I was saying like did that help like work get you to like also work on your like other ways of working on art and music and stuff of getting out of that all the time?
but yeah, like before my dad passed away, like I had like ordered this amp on eBay or something, and like he's like, "What is that?" And I thought he was gonna be like this. So I ordered an amp to the house, and I was like, "It's a guitar amp." And he's like, "Oh, that's cool. I wish it." And I was like, "What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "I'm gonna be in a band with my friends." He's like, "Oh, I'd love to do that." And he was like, it was kind of this like confirmation kind of thing where I was like, okay, I thought he would just be like, that's dumb or something, but and then my mom, it's kind of crazy, but like she would go to bed and then like she would want me to play music in the living room, so I'd be like rocking out like at like I don't know like
Awkward times.
yeah. So yeah, I was just like rock time, and I think that my parents when I it sounds kind of weird, but like after my parents died, I felt kind of like suicidal and stuff,
Yeah.
and like I like that that really like kind of made me. It's kind of sounds weird. Like I'm not saying that being suicidal is good, and like I don't think people should kill themselves, but like kind of facing that down, kind of made me more confident, kind of in a weird way about what I was doing. Like I mean, because I was kind of like I don't know, like I got diagnosed with like schizoaffective disorder, depression stuff, and like I got like, it was hard kind of like facing there was something wrong with me too, like I would like you know well yeah so but I'm going to this clinic now. It's just a recovery clinic, and it's like for severe mental illness and like for drug use. So like I guess I can say I went to rehab or something. I mean that's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I mean, I've been through rehab, and I feel like rehab is something I probably see again. I have to say, like, I love all the drugs. I mean, like, except like right now in Seattle, like everybody has a preference on fentanyl, and I'm just like, it was like I want to go and buy some fake steady or some fake pressed stuff where I know there's fentanyl in it. Like, you gotta really weed out if you're in that game.
Yeah,
Not my thing. Like I'm like heavy into like psychedelics and stuff, and like and like feel like there's a lot of give and take because you really have to prep yourself a lot whenever you're indulging in like a psychedelic trip in general.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like go to the woods with my friends and like they take like mushrooms or like acid or something. Like
Yeah.
um, I mean, that's like really a lot of people are kind of like trying that and like yeah, I didn't really do that stuff, but like I
The first Starbucks and shit started out here. But like finding cool, good coffee shops where you're not spending $10 for a cup of coffee that's gonna take 6 minutes to make, it's a very hard thing in downtown. I'm like, I just want to go to a place where it's like fresh, like it's just a drip. I don't have to fucking wait forever for it to be a fancy cup of coffee with like a design on it. But I mean, like I went to the robot one, and I was like, okay, like I'll wait for the robot to make me coffee because like the fucking future is
yeah,
ridiculous right now.
it's
If you had the 4 grand or somebody gave you the Apple Vision thing, is that something that you'd be interested in like indulging in?
I mean I'd probably like try it, but like I don't know
Yeah.
if I was trying not to get sucked into like totally like being like a I don't know, like an addict or whatever, where like I
I'm
every
like
single
for $3,000 to $4,000 for like a thing where it's like a visionary thing, and that's like worth more than some people's cars that are used. So it's just like you really would have to think about like I have like a whole future inside of my head, and like I have to like navigate this for like the like until the next thing. I'm so intrigued on how all these people are already on the Apple Vision and reporting back on like what that world is like. Um,
yeah.
what's your take on AI?
Um, I think it's pretty crazy. Like I mean you hear about it everywhere, and it's like probably gonna change people's lives in like really big ways and like ways we don't really even know. Probably it's like I mean like I don't know, man. There's so many ideas flying around about AI and like the dangers and like also like the cool parts of it. And, like,
Yeah,
I,
I think the really sick part of it is how we have these companies that have donated billions of dollars to AI companies, and the AI development is still very new to the actual public that are using AI, and it's still like that pushback. And
yeah,
like, so that's so much of an investment that is going to be integrated into society one way or another, good or bad. And I
yeah,
feel like that's something with like with the music industry. I feel like there was a flood of like this is now the shift on how things should be as far as like you have an album out, you have a music video out, you do shows, and then like that's that, and then you move on to the next project other than like actually showing the fact that they are true people making good music or good art and that kind of stuff. I feel like there's a little bit of a gate on some of these people that have like actual music to share, but they're not sharing because they're in a record label or whatever. What's your take on like keeping things really tight and not sharing so much?
um, yeah. That like when I first started posting music online, I was like, it was like a really big deal for a while. I was like, oh dude, like this is gonna be crazy. People are gonna like, like rip me off or like whatever, like, or I'm gonna become, it was either rip me off or become famous. But then like I was like, oh, no one cares that much. Wow, okay. And then like,
Yeah. But I think that too. It's like even like with the bigger movies and shows, it's like Leonardo DiCaprio was in a big movie with Martin Scorsese, but I feel like there's a big demographic that was like, I'm probably not going to go see that 3 4 hour long movie, just even if it's based on a true story. I'm like,
yeah,
I kind of get that because you lead a horse to water all the time, and it just like doesn't pan out. So to bring up all this, I'm gonna get back to some classic vibe osmosis questions for you. All right, so if you're stranded on an island, but you could only take one thing with you, what would you bring?
if I was on a desert island,
Yeah, yeah,
do I get clothes or something?
yeah, yeah. You could be clothed. I'm not doing it naked and afraid.
There's like sunglasses. Yeah, that's how would be cool. But what would I take? Probably like, well, I mean, if I want to survive, like, I don't know. I would probably take the guitar and then like be under like some palm trees, like playing guitar or something, and then
I feel like my fear with playing the guitar on the island is like eventually I would be like making a whole record or a couple records and be like, I got no recording equipment. Like I guess this is all up here for life. You
yeah,
know.
yeah,
How
that's
how do you feel about like not recording the jams that are meant to be recorded? Like I feel like the best stuff is never recorded.
yeah, that's. I mean, good stuff happens like all the time if like you play music and like it's there's some instinct. Like one time, like there's been several times where like the tape ran out and I didn't know it. And then I was like, oh, that was really good. And then I was like, kind of listened to it and I was like, oh wait, it didn't record. And then I was like, so I just yeah, there's like music that gets lost or like I'll lose a tape or like I have so many files on my computer just like that I recorded from tape and like I don't know, I don't even I should label them more, but like I just kind of like am like really about like I'm like impatient. I was like, dude, I gotta get like use this track or like listen to it, and then
Yeah.
there's like so much stuff I forgot about actually that I've done. I think what was it?
I feel like that's also something where it's like as you go wanting to release something but knowing that like you're sitting on something that could be shaped up or like done better or put out in a certain way that you're like yeah like listen to that one. I'm definitely thinking of that on like tape because I'm big on tape transfers, but I'm like they recorded the whole 80 minutes, but I didn't go back and cut up this was that track, this was that track, and this was that track. So I'm like, just listen to the whole 80 minutes as is. And that's kind of also where you're like, oh, whenever I like post that on YouTube, you're like, go to that 15-minute mark because that's whenever that other song comes in. So it's like yeah, whenever you transfer tapes, it's like a mixture of like I want this to be like a long play for people to hear this like as is, and then
Yeah,
like oh these are actually like there's actual material on these tapes that is like worth presenting in a better light. To
yeah.
yeah, to bring up another vibe osmosis question. So if you had a time machine, would you go forwards or backwards, and why?
Uh, yeah. I think I would try to go as far ahead as I could, like to the end of the world or something. Just
Nice.
thing ends, and then I'll be like mixing music, and then I don't know what will happen if there's gonna be like who knows
Who
like
knows?
they like um, like aliens or like Jesus and like the Earth melt whatever or something like it's like
Yeah.
and like be playing rock and roll at the moment like that or just like maybe it's just all it just keeps drifting along kind of and oh yeah, okay, well this is like kind of the end, I guess, but they're still playing like
That's the gets. That would be really funny. You're like, damn, I guess they still have Pokemon. Like, fuck. Thought we were done with that by, 100 million years later.
yeah.
Like, have you ever looked? Yeah, yeah. Let's get back into, some classic vibe osmosis. What's some favorite movies and favorite directors of yours?
Mm, let's see. I watch a lot of horror movies. But like, dude, like, there was one movie that it was like dang, what was it called? Hereditary. That was crazy. That was like probably I've never seen. And I know people were joking about it, like, oh, it's so scary, like, like, but like it is to me, and like I feel like I encountered a demon just like from that. Like I was in my room when my parents were still around. Like I was like in my room and like I was like watching it. I was watching it on a laptop because like I couldn't watch it, if they don't want to see it. And like I don't know, I felt this like thing looking at me, and I was like, dude, like what the heck? But
That has
it,
a really, really creepy vibe, and I think to me, like that one, what really got to me is like I know that there's people in the world that worship other entities and that kind of stuff, and like there are, actual historical facts about like weird magic being throughout all of our time.
yeah,
It's something that like you can't deny has been in like the world's existence and has been like indulged in. And that's like one thing where you're like, well, were they actually experiencing powers? Were they actually experiencing the
yeah.
benefit from doing this? Because they obviously did it. One of the like really classic horror movies I'm big on is like The Wicker Man. Are you a fan?
Oh yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one that one's really weird. Even the classic. I mean, the classic is like the best. But I'm saying even like the random Nicolas Cage one. It's like it's so bad acting, but you're like Nicolas Cage brought it home for us. Like, yeah, let's have this cult burn him alive and him be a bitch.
yeah, yeah,
That maybe was crazy.
yeah. Yeah,
um,
Wicker Man. Wicker
yeah,
Man.
what other kind of horror flicks are you into?
Let's see. I just try to find them on whatever on Prime Video or something. Or I like one that was really crazy that I saw with one of my sisters was like Pan's Labyrinth, which isn't really like exactly a horror movie, but it kind of is, I guess.
Yeah, it's really really bad. It's like dark and grungy and like yeah, it's like Spanish or European film. Like that one I haven't seen in a long time. That one's really weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. And I remember my sister and we were watching it, and I was like, should we be watching this? And then like my dad was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, the funny story with my dad, like when I was a kid, like we went to this like Christian music store because my parents would go to church and we would go to church, but like uh, I wanted this like metal CD, like metal band. I forgot what it was, but like it had like a mountain of skulls on it and stuff, and like and blood and stuff. And like I was like, Dad, can I get this? Can you get this for me? He's like, what is this? And I was like, it's metal, Dad. It's cool. And he's like, I'm not gonna get this for you. But then I got a friend. My friend made me a tape, so I listened to it in my room. I mean, it's kind of funny, but it's kind of like maybe a formative experience for me, kind of. To,
Yeah. Here we go. Oh, good. Keep them going.
oh yeah, like I mean, horror movies. Oh yeah, we can talk about horror movies.
I like in my hometown, like I grew up in Chillicothe, Ohio, for the most part, and we had this place called the Metal Grounds, and the Metal Grounds would always bring on Christian metal rock bands, and I remember like this one show had Miss May I come, and they had like a hell of a lineup, like August Burns Red and like
whoa, that's
Post like Underoath, that guy that was the drummer of Underoath's side band and stuff. Like there were some heavy bands coming through, and I was like really indulged in like that kind of music. And whenever I'd show it to my parents, and they would be like, "That's still like you know, evil music. I don't believe that they're Christian or whatever, but I'm like, you go to their shows and after they're done screaming, they're like basically giving you like a whole on preach ensemble of like, this is why you should start praying or whatever. And you're like, all right, I guess I know what show I'm at now. It's a little bit
Like,
different out here in Seattle. Like after they're like, whoa, they're like, yeah, now fuck everything and you know, fuck my job or you know what I mean. It's like, okay, like they're actually a rock band, you know. Like, that's ridiculous.
yeah, like my dad, like we
Yeah,
had the old VHS tape that we got from the church library, and it was like called Hell's Bells, and it was about like playing records backwards, and like you hear like demons and stuff.
okay.
Oh, cool. And I think that maybe like, I mean, that kind of like started part of my like road on like where I started like being interested in rock and roll and stuff. But I mean, it was supposed to, but like yeah, like you can play it backwards, and it says like words, and then like, girl, this song is about Satan and hell and stuff. It's like, what? And then like my what else? What's this thing? What's like my did it freeze? Oh no.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah, that's good. Like I forgot what I was gonna say. Dang it.
Whenever I was in church, though, my pastor he did the Pokemon theme song, and he played it backwards, and he was like, "Every Pokemon is a demon," and I'm like, my parents were already buying me Pokemon cards because I love the show and shit. They were like, "Oh fuck!" Like I guess like Pokemon's actually demonic. I'm like, "Damn, no, you can't cancel Pokemon for me."
That's funny, man. I remember like
worse whenever I was like, they tried to say that at church.
and then like they're gonna probably have like a Pokemon Christian Pokemon, maybe who knows, like if they are
Yeah.
they are things or what are they? I don't know. Like it's a lot of that stuff, like I think like I remember one time like a pastor was like there's like witchcraft everywhere, and it's like Harry Potter is like evil, and like I like all those movies. Mostly I watch the movies, and like I was like, dude, like that's a pretty cool. Those are pretty cool films, and like they're not really about like witchcraft isn't like really what they're about. Mainly, it's like there's like kids that are like special, and like they have powers and stuff. And, like, but yeah, Pokemon. I remember Pokemon. My sister wasn't allowed to play Pokemon because she wasn't allowed to get the cards or anything because the parents thought they were bad. So
So like with like recording, like what was like your first like doll? Like whenever you switch from tape or transferring it, like do you remember like what you were using, or do you use the same stuff every day?
I just like use like GarageBand, but I try not to like add a lot of effects or anything. I just try to like make it like a really even transfer, but like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll like play with like the treble or something, like up the treble or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the DAW, like my friend was trying to get me Ableton and stuff, but like it's kind of weird. It's like kind of like there was this rocker dude that like was at this guitar store, and he was like this guy from the UK. He's like saying like do you like what how do you record it? I was like, I'm using like 4 tracks and stuff, and he's like, oh dude, don't use the digital stuff, it's like he didn't like it, and like I was like, okay. I mean,
Nice.
but like, I mean like people, it's just kind of like it's if you want to do it, you can. Like there's like a lot of people that make really great sounding music that like use the DAW a lot and stuff, like use like whatever like software and stuff. I just for me like recently like I've gotten into just like not having any effects on my guitar or vocals and like making the music like that and seeing how it sounds. And like it actually I kind of like how it sounds right now. It's like kind of like a little bit more like I don't know what, like it's just kind of I used to put a lot of like echo on my voice and stuff. I would use this like space echo pedal, but oh yeah, my voice. I mean, it's just kind of like more like it's a lot drier, obviously, like the sound and stuff. Like it's, but
Do you remember like your first microphone you bought?
I think it was some kind of crappy like realistic microphone, that brand realistic. It was like some kind of like thing I got on eBay or something, because I wanted to plug directly into the amp, and it had like a little like thing that you could plug in.
I went to the Goodwill.
Nice. Wow.
And I got this microphone for $7.99, and it's a Pio Mic 200 Pro mic, and it came with like its own little cord that goes directly into 1/8 inch, and like and it sounds so perfect. Like the person probably was like, "It's just a cheap mic, and I don't really see the value in it." But I've done like actual mic testing. It sounds like a brand new microphone. So they just didn't know what good they had and never tried to, put it in pedals or anything like that. And like I'm always like, you can rock with a little like an $8 microphone, but it changed your life.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you can rock with $8. Like
I agree with that.
I like that. I don't know, like the part of like the lo-fi thing for me is like using that kind of stuff that you like get off eBay or thrift store or something, and then just like I don't know, I don't know why I like it. I guess I'm not sure. I think it sounds cool, and like it's like kind of, I guess, more interesting to use right now, as far as me at least. I mean.
Yeah, I feel like in like the city life, like with bands, it's like you have a really set standard on like how this set or breakup is, and like what the kind of pedals or sound is going for, and like compared to kind of music that you actually listen to and enjoy, you really see like kind of like the craftsmanship, so like what it takes to actually make that kind of music that you do enjoy. And this is like one of the essential vibe osmosis questions before we go. In a nutshell, how would you describe Burned Out Kid music to somebody that never listened to you?
I would say it's like an ongoing, like kind of like this ongoing project. It's like it's lo-fi. It's like B-side vibes. It's like a guy daily making music or nightly or whatever, and just kind of like trying to make like kind of like it can be funny, it can be like serious, like it's like slacker rock, it's like it's a little bit ironic, but like there's also a lot of seriousness and a lot of like about like just like this character that is me, I guess, that like kind of I hope they like it,
No, I appreciate you taking the time to join Vibe Osmosis. And before we go, is there anybody you want to shout out?
Oh yeah, hey, mom and dad, God bless you guys. Thanks for being my parents. Thank you, Jesus and God, for helping me make music, and like my friends Ben and Marcos, they play with me sometimes. I'm like, I hope I can play.